Hello and welcome back. My name is Kabira and this is Kabira Speaks. So I know it's been a while. Thank you for your patience. Really, I mean that. I think like in the new year, I'd like to make more vlogs more consistently. But to start out, I want to talk about something that is, I guess a little bit serious, but it's something I really feel like I need to share. So at my lowest weight, I was 106 pounds. About a month ago, maybe a month and a half, I weighed myself and I weighed 146 pounds. So this number was really significant to me because that meant I had gained 40 pounds in about 2 years. But let me back up. I'll start at the beginning. So I've always had kind of a difficult relationship with food. When I was young, I was a really picky eater. I think I drove my parents crazy. And then in elementary school, middle school, I was a big snacker. My family, my parents made sure that we had healthy food in the house, but because I was such an inactive child, I kind of became kind of chubby. My favorite things to do when I was young were reading and writing, sedentary activities. So I was a little bit chubby, kind of all throughout high school, I would say. And then after high school, that's when I really started to gain weight. So what happened was I had wanted to go to a college outside of the state. I wanted to go to New York. There was this private Christian college called NIAC that I was all set up to go to. But I had no idea how student loans worked or how paying for school worked. And so when the time came, I just wasn't able to go. I financially wasn't able to go. And that derailed all my plans. So I scrambled around and I got into a college in my hometown, Keystone College. So Keystone was an interesting school. So it was non-traditional, meaning that I went to school at night and I went to school on the weekend. And most of the other students, they either hadn't gone to college after high school, or maybe they had gone but not finished and now were coming back. They were in different, they were at a different time in their lives than I was in mine. So they were older than me. A lot of them were married. A lot of them had children. They had full-time jobs. They had total other lives. Whereas I'm an 18-year-old kid who, I was used to going to football games and basketball games and plays and lots of school spirit. And I'm suddenly at a school where you were there to do your work. And then you went home to your kids and family because you were exhausted. So it wasn't really what I expected, but I was glad to be able to go because it meant that, I was still on time or whatever that's supposed to mean. But I was pretty unhappy, because all of my friends from high school, or a majority of them, had moved away. They went to college, they went on with their lives, and I was still in my very little hometown. I was living at home. I got a job at JCPenney's. I got a job as a maid at a hotel. And that's all I did. I had 2 total friends in town. And I went to work, I went to school, and I ate. That was kind of my comfort, I guess. Actually, right next to JCPenney's, there was this Chinese restaurant that had the cheapest takeout ever. So I would go over on my break and just load up on fried food and goodies. And my breaks were only 15 to 30 minutes and I would just cram food, I would just go nuts. So yeah, I gained weight during that time and it wasn't helping my unhappiness, but it's what I was doing. But then something else happened. Because I was going to a college where, I wasn't partying, I wasn't going out, I wasn't really doing much of anything besides schoolwork. I had a 4.0, so I was looking at other colleges, and then Mansfield University gave me a full ride. So that meant I could transfer, because the whole issue was money to begin with. It wasn't grades, it was money. So I got the scholarship, I could transfer. So I moved out of my parents' house, I got my own apartment, I lived there by myself. And that summer before I started college, I was on it. I was like, this is a chance for you to be whoever you want to be. You get a fresh start. No one knows you there. You can be whoever you want. And so for the first time, probably in my entire life, I started exercising. I've never really been an athletic person, never really cared for exercise. So I had to start really small. I started walking a little bit at the time. then more and more, and I love walking. Still to this day, I love to walk. And, you know, walking is so underrated. Like, it's really good for you. But I tried running a little bit. I tried different things. When I got to college, Mansfield, I could use the gym. I was a little bit embarrassed at first because, like, I mean, I never really stepped foot in a gym, so I didn't know what to do. But it got better little by little. And then I love the fitness classes. Like, if you are starting out from a baseline, fitness classes are the way to go because you're not going to get up and leave. That would be embarrassing. So I would stay for the entire class. And, you know, little by little, my body was transforming. I was transforming. At the same time, so many other things were happening. Like, you know, I was making friends with people my age. I got a boyfriend. I was really good in school. I loved my major. I was living on my own. I got a different job. Like, things were going well for me. But I was attributing all of those successes to weight loss. Like, everything good that was happening to me in my mind, I thought, it's because you're thin. It's because you're skinny. And on top of that, the feedback I got, the reaction I got from losing weight was nuts. Like, so people were so much nicer to me, I feel, because I looked different. And that just fed my desire to keep losing weight. So losing weight became really addicting to me. It stopped being like, oh, I'll catch a fitness class after my classes get over, to I'm going to walk for 2 hours a day, and I'm going to work out on my own, and I'm going to go to a fitness class. So I was over exercising and I was under eating. I was counting every single calorie that went in my mouth. Like, even if I ate a mint, that's 5 calories. I know every calorie of every food in the book. Well, not every, but like I know a lot. So everything that I ingested, I would be writing it down. I'd be thinking about it. I weighed myself multiple times a day. I had a tape measure to like measure different parts of my body. I kept my scale in my kitchen. I kept a piece of paper in my kitchen where I'd write my daily weights, morning, noon, and night. Now that I say this, like after the fact, I realize how nuts it was. But at the time, I was like, yeah, this is helping you. This is helping you be better. And with every single compliment I received, that just made me want to lose more weight. So my original goal weight was around 125. So then I hit that. And then my goal weight was 115. I hit that. And then it was 110. And then it was 100. So yeah, I got to 106 pounds, which was pretty small, but this is really important. Never in my life, whether it's now, whether it was that period, or whether it was before, I've never felt thin. Like, when I look in the mirror, I don't see a thin person. And I realize now that's body dysmorphia. So body dysmorphia is when you don't see yourself as you truly are. And that can happen to anybody. It can happen to men, it can happen to women, it can happen to children. And that's what was happening to me. So I would not have stopped. You know, I was 106 pounds at 5'4", and I would have just kept on going until I was 100 pounds and under. But something happened. It's hard to explain, I guess. Like, I just got to a point one day where I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't restrict calories anymore. I wanted to. Like, a few times, you know, people would check in with me, my parents especially, family members, a couple friends, and I would just deny, like, oh, I'm fine, I'm eating, you know, whatever. I was in therapy for a little bit for other things, and I never once brought it up because I didn't want to get better. I liked the obsession because it kept me thin. So anyway, I would have just kept on going down that route, but then something, like, I guess, clicked in my brain, like in my subconscious, and I couldn't do it anymore. The best description that I can come up with is that it's like some sort of self-preserving instinct. I feel like my body was like, listen, girl, we have things to do, and you can't be doing that if you're this weight. So, you know, I started eating a little bit more regularly, and I got more to a healthy weight. So then I moved to Westchester for grad school, and my first year of grad school, I was like a pretty normal, healthy weight. And then I flipped to the other end of the spectrum. You know, I was restricting calories, and then I started binging again. I don't have a diagnosis for these types of habits or anything like that. I know it's like not typical or normal to eat that way, but I started eating really, really poorly, and I stopped working out. And I took back all these bad habits that I had had before and started gaining weight. And it felt like I was gaining weight really rapidly. And because I'm 24 years old, and at this age, like, we're very egocentrical, like we think everything is about us. Like, I would go out in public and I'd be like, people are thinking, oh, that girl was so skinny and now she's so heavy. No one's thinking that. Like, no one's thinking about me that way, but that's kind of like what my thought was. So it was really tough on me. Like, it was really tough on my self-esteem. To make matters worse, like, all of my clothes that I had were so small, like extra small and size 0, and I couldn't afford to buy all new clothes. I was a grad student, so I was wearing clothes that didn't fit, and I was overeating, I wasn't being active, and I was just so unhappy once again. And something I need to point out, I'm kind of talking about this like it's way in the past, but it's actually like present date. Like, I just finished grad school last year, so this is all very recent, and it's something I'm still kind of going through, but I just wanted to be open about it for a few reasons. And I guess, like, I don't really have a tidy ending to this story because it's still going on. I wish that more people were transparent, because especially in the social media age, like, we see people who look perfect all the time, and you have no idea what's actually going on with them. You have no idea. So I guess I just have like a couple takeaways. So first of all, if you have a friend or family member that you notice, physically changing significantly, say something. I mean, you need to be tactful because it's a sensitive topic, and you should expect that they are going to probably, shoot down your concern. That's just the natural response, because that's something that you want to keep hidden. Like, as someone with disordered eating problems, that's something that you do want to keep hidden. So just keep checking in with them, do it gently, do it kindly, do it out of a place of love. And something else that's really important to me. So people who are overweight, people who are heavier, a lot of the time they'll be dieting in really unhealthy ways, and they're gonna get praised all the way down until they're unhealthy. Because people aren't thinking of, what they're putting their bodies through. They're just thinking overweight, unhealthy, thin, healthy. And that's not true at all, and you don't have to be underweight to have an eating disorder. Lots of people have eating disorders. Now, I was never diagnosed with anything, and because I never sought help for it, but like, I know now that those behaviors, they weren't normal. They were not okay. I guess another point I want to make is, if you have gained weight, I gained weight, it's okay. It happens. Lots of things may have changed. Maybe you played a sport in high school and now you don't, and you gain weight, or maybe you had a kid. If you had a kid and you gain weight, first of all, good for you. You brought a human being into this world, and that's amazing. Maybe you're in a relationship and now you're so happy and comfortable, and you can just, go out to dinner 3 nights a week. Like, it doesn't matter. Or maybe it's none of those things. Maybe it's just time. Maybe your body just changed. Either way, it's okay. And I am not going to sit here and preach body positivity to you when I know, like, for a fact that I am not there. Like, I'm not body positive. I'm body stressful. Like, a lot of the time, I'm body stressful. And I'm just trying every day to, like, find things I like about myself. And something that's helpful for me is, dressing for success. I had to go to the thrift store and get new clothes because I can't afford to buy a bunch of new clothes like that fit me. So I had to go thrift store shopping, and that was so helpful because I can wear clothes that actually fit. Like, dress in the best way that you know how, and put yourself together the best way you know how, and you deserve to feel attractive no matter what weight you are. You totally do. And then just, like, try to recognize the things that you love about yourself. Like, doesn't matter what size you are still funny, you're still smart, you're still kind, you're still adventurous. All the things that make you, you are still those things. So just, just be yourself, I guess. And that's all we can do. And yeah, so just try to lift up your friends and lift up your family, and recognize the things that make them beautiful outside of physical attributes. So I'm gonna end this video. If you have ever experienced anything like this, whether it's disordered eating or body dysmorphia, self-loathing, anything like that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Like, leave a comment or message me privately. I would love to talk to you about it, because you are not alone. Yeah, so that's my story. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.